Welcome. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the break room. If you're live on Twitch, if you're live on YouTube, yes, you have stumbled across Coffee Break Sports, hosted by your boy, Rod the Magnificent. And I'm here. If you're on Twitch, you're used to me being behind the ones and twos, me mixing songs and things of that nature. But today I'm doing something a little bit differently. If you don't know by now, I started a new sports podcast called Coffee Break Sports. So if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, hit the share, all that good stuff. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button. That's the most important thing. And share this with your loved ones, because I'm sure they will all love to hear this podcast. And I decided to do a live show today. Usually I do pre-recorded shows, but today it's just so much stuff I got to touch on today. So I'm here. Sit back, relax, grab you a cup of coffee like I did, grab you a nice cup so we could talk about everything that's going on in the sports world. And I'd be remiss if I didn't get things going with the NBA. I mean, the opening week. Yo, what's going on, fam? I see you in the chat. We in here talking about some sports today. I'm doing something a little different. So, hey, man, if you want to sit back, listen to this content, feel free to do so. Big shout out to DJ Fam. Hit that man with a follow if you're on Twitch. But, hey, I'm here to talk about some NBA. The NBA season debuted a couple of nights ago, and I just had to jump on this because, it's been an exciting last couple of days of NBA action. We tipped off with the opening night NBA on NBC, which gave us that nostalgic feel. I mean, if you wasn't there to listen to that intro be resurrected after over 20 years, I mean, it brought chills down my spine to finally hear that NBA on NBC music along with that voice. This is the NBA on NBC. I just loved everything about it. And then we kicked things off with the Rockets going up against the OKC Thunder. And boy, I'm going to get into that in a minute, but that was a nice opener along with the Lakers and Golden State. So, man, a lot to talk about with the tip-off. Just starting off with the first 2 days. The following day, ESPN debuted, and they started off with a doubleheader. They had the Spurs going up against the Dallas Mavericks, and also the Cleveland Cavaliers going up against the Knicks. Now, I got to go start off the show with this dude right here. I got to start off with this dude. What up, Tip? Tip, what's going on? Yeah, we doing something a little different. We talking sports today, but man, oh man, I'm going to get to that intro some more in a minute, but I just want to cover this dude right here. Wemby, if you haven't watched him, go look up the highlights from last night's game. Victor Wembanyama put on a show, and I think the Spurs are here to stay, y'all. I think the Spurs are here to stay. They found their superstar. This man had 40 points. 15 of 21 shooting, 9 of 11 from the line. He hit an and one 3-point shot on AD. He was cooking. He was deep frying AD the whole night. I felt sorry for him. Castle also joined in on the fun. He had 22 points. Vassell also joined in. He had 13. This team is solid. This team is solid all across the board. I really love this squad. I think they're going to be the surprise team in the West, and I think they're going to do a lot of damage, especially with, I'm wrong, this man right here, Wembanyama. Now, Cooper Flag, as you can see, the other player in the image, he made his rookie debut. He had 10 points, 10 rebounds, had a double-double in his debut, but, man, it was overshadowed by Wemby. But I think Flag, I think he's going to be all right. He had a couple of turnovers. He was a minus 29, but I think he'll be all right. You're going up against former rookie of the year in Wemby, and it was a lot of pressure out there, but shout out to Cooper Flag. I think he's going to do well moving forward. And then the first game before that one, we had the New York Knicks going up against the Cavs. The Knicks were dominant against the Cavs. They look really good behind their new head coach, Mike Brown. He's got them playing fast, up-tempo basketball. I mean, it was wonderful to see. Jordan Clarkson was an amazing addition. Yeah, Wemby was out there moving in slow motion and killing people. Definitely, fam. He was killing people. But yeah, the Knicks, they look good, man. They look good. It's too early. You can't, stack your chips on one game, right? It's just the first game of the season. Anybody can look good the first game of the season and then fall off later on. But man, Donovan Mitchell had 31 points in defense of the Cavaliers, but they were missing their point guard. They were sorely missing their point guard. And as I look and watch the New York Knicks, they have a solid team. They run up and down the floor. They get everything going. Anunoby had a great game. Bronson had a really good game as well. Jordan Clarkson only had 4 points in his debut as a Knick, but I think he's going to be an excellent addition to the New York Knicks. And I think the Knicks are for real. I still think the Cavs are the best team in the East, but, I think the Knicks are for real. I need to see a little bit more, defensively. I don't know how they're going to do defensively, but we'll see what happens. Also, if you missed the debut game, the feature game, KD going up against SGA, the champions, the Thunder. They got their rings the other night after that wonderful NBA on NBC introduction. And then you got KD, who was booing OKC fans. I mean, he was clowning the OKC fans, but OKC fans got the last laugh. Kevin Durant almost had a Chris Webber type of moment. Calling a timeout when there wasn't any timeouts in one of the overtimes, but he did not get caught. And unfortunately, we could have had a meme moment with KD. But other than that, the Thunder come out on top, winning 125-124 in double overtime. So big shout out to SGA. He put on a show. He started off kind of slow, but he picked it up towards the end, and he was able to pull off a huge win. And then the Lakers. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. If you're a Lakers fan, you want to turn this podcast off. Yeah, the Thunder will win. I agree with you, Tip. The Thunder, getting back to the Thunder, like they were kind of coasting the whole game, but I just felt like the Rockets kept letting them hang around. The more you let a team like that hang around, they're going to pull it off. They're going to pull off the upset, and they're going to come back. This is not even though this is a young Thunder team, now they got some experience. They got a championship under their belt. So now they know how to, survive adversity, so to speak. And, they were able to get in there. Shout out to DJ Excalibur. Appreciate you, my brother. Wemby about to break some records if he remains healthy. Real handle for a big man if he can manage to put on 15 pounds. Woo, yeah, I know. Yeah, I agree with you on Wemby. He puts on some weight. He did work out with Hakeem Olajuwon over the offseason on his footwork and his dribbling and things of that nature. So we see it paid off with that first game. And then we got up next, again, going back to the Lakers, going back to the Lakers and Golden State. The Lakers look trash on defense. Ayton, I don't know what that was. Big shout out to Slim Luka. Slim Luka put on a show. He had over 40, I think. Steph Curry was a little quiet, but he hit a big three at the end. Jimmy Butler dominated that game. And the Golden State Warriors look really nice. They look really good. The problem that I have with the Golden State Warriors are they're old. Will they be able to sustain this through the course of the season? We'll see what happens. They play, as of this recording, they play the Nuggets tonight. So we'll see, how well. I think the Nuggets are more of a challenge than the Lakers right now, and I think they'll be all right. I can see Hakeem in his movements and Jordan in his drive and intensity. Yes, I can see that definitely in Wemby. But yeah, the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors, you see a division there. You see one team going up and one team kind of like at a stalemate. and that's the Lakers. And I just don't think the Lakers, I didn't believe in them. Even if LeBron did play, I didn't believe in them. But, the Lakers going to have Luka out there putting up big numbers, but they're going to be struggling a little bit. And then if you didn't see the highlights, I don't know about these teams right here. Memphis and New Orleans, they got a lot of question marks. They got two players that they don't know what they're going to do with going into the future, whether they're going to keep them, whether they're going to let them walk. But we got the number 1 pick and the number 2 pick going at it from years back. Ja Morant going up against Zion Williamson. And that was a really good game. You had Zion Williamson putting up 27. Slim Zion. He ain't eating the burgers no more, y'all. He ain't in New Orleans eating all of those that jambalaya, that good old jambalaya. He ain't out there eating, all that cornbread, all that soul food. He getting down there. He's resisting it. He's resisting it. And then hopefully Ja Rule put the ammunition down, if you know what I mean, and he go out there and put on a show. I think they put on a show last night. Ja Morant had 35 in that game. Jared Jackson Jr. had 18. Caldwell Pope, who is now with the Memphis Grizzlies thanks to that trade for Desmond Bane, he had 15 in his debut. Most of that came from the free throw line. And again, I don't know what to expect from these two teams. I don't really have them doing much damage this year. I have more hope in New Orleans than I do Memphis because Memphis lost so much. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how things work out there. And then last but not least, I got to talk about my Bulls, man. The Bulls got their first win of the season last night against the Detroit Pistons, the playoff-bound Detroit Pistons. And as you can see, my boy Montes Udonis hitting them with that dunk, that poster over Isaiah Stewart. And it was a good game. They were up 23. They scared me a little bit towards the end. I thought they were going to blow it. I thought they were going to be the Bulls. The Bulls are going to bull, right? But they came out and they pulled off the victory over the Pistons, who have way more expectations than the Bulls have. And big shout out to my Bulls. Cade Cunningham had 23 points, but he fouled out the game. He had 10 assists. But shout out to Vucevic, my boy Vucevic, who I famously call Vucebrick whenever he's having a bad game. But Vucevic switched tonight. Last night he was 28 points, 11 of 18 shooting, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. He had 14 rebounds to go along with that. But Montes Bazelas had 21 points. He had 6 rebounds. He was a minus 10, but hey, that'll improve as time go along. Josh Giddey, big game from Josh Giddey. He started off a little shaky and he missed a couple of key free throws towards the end, but he was able to pull things off. Ayo Dosunmu had a great game off the bench, 14 points. And also Kevin Huerter had a good game off the bench. He was a +9. And so, yeah, man, my Bulls, they came through. They came through and had a really good game. But I want to get into my review of NBA on NBC's debut. All right. NBA on NBC had a debut. It was on Peacock, also on NBC if you got the local channels, if you got the bunny ears, right? I got a rant coming up soon about all of these transitions with the NBA, with streaming and stuff like that. Just a brief rant. I'm not going to bore you guys to death, but NBA on NBC featured on Peacock last night or the night before last. And again, talking about that intro, it started off with a beautiful introduction from, NBA on NBC, the old school 90s. If you grew up in the 90s, that dun, 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 dun. I mean, when that came on, man, I just lost it. I was into it. I loved it. I loved everything about it. It had, and also the guy that used to say, "This is the NBA on NBC," he actually died back in 2017. And if I'm not mistaken, he died back in 2017. But they were able to use AI to enhance his voice, so to speak. So, there you have it with that. He was able to basically they was able to get his voice enhanced in there so that he could say, "Oh, the Thunder going up against the Houston Rockets." So I thought that was pretty dope. Um, Also, another thing that I liked and enjoyed, and I could not wait. Yes, Round Ball Rock. Thank you, fam. I forgot to put that in my notes, but thank you, fam. Round Ball Rock was the track, the original track, and it was also, I think they performed that live too. It was an old tape out there, old video of them performing that instrumental live, and so definitely one of the most amazing intros. Nothing beats that to me when it comes to the NBA. That is, or sports period. That is the GOAT introduction for me when it comes to sports. But one of the things that I couldn't wait for was to see my man's Michael Jordan. And before I get into Michael Jordan, I want to talk about the crews for the NBC crew. And I know it's not Barkley, it's not Kenny, and it's not Shaq, but they got Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Carmelo Anthony, and Maria Taylor as their post-game crew. And if I had to give them a grade based off coffee cups, that's what I do here. I do it on Coffee and Beats. 1 out of 5 coffee cups. I would give them a 3. I would give them 3 cups out of 5. I thought they did okay. I think they were a little nervous, especially Carmelo Anthony. Vince and Tracy have been used to being on pregame and postgame shows in the past. But Melo, who's been podcasting lately, this is his first time kind of at the podium talking sports. I think he was a little nervous in the beginning, but I think he'll be able to shake it off. This team is not going to be as raunchy as inside the NBA. I can see they're going to be a little bit more coerced, a little bit more politically correct. And I hope they add a little bit more jazz to their delivery in future episodes. Once they get their, feel for being behind the podium and talking about, what they got from each game, they tip them three ain't them three ain't gotta say a word. Just stand there looking to oh man. Yeah, well, for the ladies, there definitely is a very, very good way to look at it. For the fellas, we definitely want to get a little bit more entertainment out of them. But yeah, they started off okay. I can see them getting acclimated with each other, getting comfortable. And once they get comfortable, you'll kind of start to see their personalities come out a little bit more. But moving on, we got Michael Jordan here. Michael Jordan. This was what I was waiting for. I heard that he was going to do this interview during the halftime show. And, there were rumors coming out about him joining the NBC crew, the NBA NBC crew. But, it wasn't confirmed until I would say midsummer. And we still didn't know like how he was going to be used, right? Well, we got our answers on Tuesday. It was filmed in his house. I guess it's a 2-hour interview with Mike Tirico, but they're going to break it up in fragments as the year go along, or as the season goes along. And you got the GOAT. Put those GOATs in the chat. Because y'all see who that is. If you think Michael Jordan's the GOAT, put the GOATs in the chat. But yeah, the GOAT was here. He entered the building, or in his house, and he did an interview with Mike Tirico. But there was something that he mentioned during this interview that went viral. And also Shams, who is a breaking news reporter for ESPN, kind of called cap on Michael Jordan's story. So I wanted to do this episode to kind of put that to bed. All right. I'm going to play the story. You guys take a listen, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Picked up a basketball and shot it. I was at the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
And I rented a house from the owner.
Sure.
Came over to do pictures. He had grandkids. And I was meet and greet and thank him for allowing me to stay in the house. And he had a basketball court. He says, I want you to shoot one free throw. I said, really? I already paid for the house. It's not like he got to see me. So when I stepped up to shoot the free throw, it's the most nervous I've been in years.
Stop it.
In years.
Stop it. Come on.
It's been a while.
Jacob.
How come they can go over this line when the
You got it?
when the what?
They can. But you know where that line come from? The line used to be in. We
Well,
moved it out.
Right.
How? What?
Well,
Look at you.
Yeah,
You
of
know.
course.
Lucas, move back,
See the
buddy.
center circle?
Move back.
Old guy.
You remember the center circle? They didn't have it. Wilt Chamberlain used to take a drive, take off, and lay up. That was his free throw. So now you can't start the shot outside the center circle, and you can't break this line until it hits the rim. That's what Wilt Chamberlain rule. Lord have mercy. Please make Now that was pressure, man. I ain't like that in a while.
And reason being is those kids heard the stories from the parents about what I did 30 years ago.
Right.
The expectation is 30 years prior, and I haven't touched the basketball.
I hope you switched it.
Absolutely. I got the most gratifying that made my whole week is that I was able to please that kid, not knowing if I could.
All right. So you got the story there. You got not only the interview that he did, where he mentioned the story about this situation where he had to prove to these grandkids of this guy that he still got it. He still got it, even though he was nervous, and he switched the shot. And Shams reportedly came out on Pat McAfee's show and said Mike was lying in so many words that that story didn't really happen. Well, the receipts came out today, and you saw it here first. You were able to see that Mike was telling the truth with that story. And one of the highlights that I want to mention, and this is something that a lot of people who are LeBron fans or people that like to, kick dirt. Yes, it is. The internet has CVS receipts. Exactly. The one thing that we have to look at, LeBron fans who like to kick dirt on Michael Jordan's legacy and things of that nature. The one thing that Michael Jordan highlighted in that interview is the fact that he saw the value in people who were fans of him. He always wanted to perform at the highest level, no matter how old they were. I mean, these are grandkids that never seen him win any of those championships back in the 90s. And yet he's still sitting here in his 60s and still trying to prove that I could still play this game and that I take this game very seriously. And we're amidst of an NBA. Now, so far, NBA season has gotten off to a good start. But my criticism of the NBA over the last decade is the lack of care that a lot of these superstars in NBA have for the game of basketball. They load manage. They take a bunch of days off. People spend their hard-earned money on these tickets to go see you play as a superstar level player for your franchise, and you want to load manage because you're hurt, not injured, you're hurt. So that's one of the things that I appreciate about Mike. This is Mike. I mean, you saw him in the video. I mean, he's got the old man walk, he's got the grandpa walk going, but he still didn't allow that to hinder him. And I know it was just a free throw, but it was a lesson in that. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about that interview, that extra footage that we were able to get from CVS and onto NBC. And we are able to see the genuine, desire, the passion that Michael Jordan had for the game that is sorely missing in today's game. And that's why I highlighted Wemby as the opener for this particular show, because what I saw in Wemby last night was a guy that is taking the game seriously. He's constantly working on his craft. He's constantly working on himself, getting better. And when you put forth the hard work, you put forth the effort, you value the fans, and you give them what they want. You give the people what they want, they're going to keep coming back. But if you don't give the people what they want, they're going to be like, all right, whatever. And then they're going to keep it moving. That's why the NFL is so popular right now, because those players are giving the people what they want. The NBA guys just play when they want to play, and they don't take the game seriously. All-Star break comes up. They're selected to the All-Star team. People go out of their way to vote these fans into the All-Star game just to give us sloppy performances and just play like they don't even care anymore. And so this is what, with NBA on NBC resurrecting the NBA, and all of these players from back in the 90s and the 80s and even the 2000s coming back and trying to breathe life back into the NBA. I hope that this has a positive effect on everybody that's playing right now in the NBA. And at the end of the day, if that happens, it's only better for the NBA. It's not, it's better for us as NBA fans. And so we're going to go to our next topic here. And Inside the NBA made their debut last night on ESPN. And I was a little bit worried about this transition from NBA on, Inside the NBA on TNT over to ESPN, because ESPN has a lot of rules and regulations, right? They're very restrictive. In TNT, they were a little bit more loose. They let the guys do what they want to do. They let them crack their jokes. They didn't care how offensive they even gotten with some of the jokes. And so here we got Shaq, we got Kenny, Barkley, Ernie back. And yeah, it's on ESPN. But the one thing that I was hoping for was no Stephen A. Smith appearances, please. Nobody else from ESPN try to wiggle their way in to try to steal their spotlight. And I'm glad that did not happen last night. They let my guys do their thing. Shaq took a shot at NBA on NBC talking about they were the preseason and we were the openers, which I thought was hilarious. You had Barkley, who looks slim. He looks like the Slim Reaper, man. I don't know what he's doing. I need to get on his diet. I need to get on the Barkley diet. He looks small. They were cracking jokes about Barkley selling all his clothes to Goodwill and telling him that he shouldn't sell all his clothes to Goodwill. You talking about eating Popeyes, which was the sponsor for yesterday's show. And then you had Ernie doing his favorite, instead of saying who he played for. Yeah, Chuck is definitely on that shot. You know it. You know Chuck is on that shot. He got that needle going. But shout out to Chuck. He had to do something, man. He had to do something. Yeah, Ernie. Ernie usually does at the beginning of every season. If you follow Inside the NBA on a yearly basis, he'll start off the season by asking Charles Barkley who certain players play for, and he'll pick like players that even I wouldn't even know, like deep players that are deep on teams' benches and things of that nature, and see if Charles actually know who they play for. Well, he put a little spin on it this time with them being on NBC or ESPN rather. And he was able to do a who do they work for type of thing. So he put different players, different analysts and things of that nature, and asked Chuck who they work for. Is it Amazon Prime? Is it NBA on NBC? Is it ESPN? And I thought that was pretty hilarious. So all in all, man, if I got to rate NBC's NBA on NBC as a whole, their debut as a whole, I give it 4 cups out of 5. I thought they did an excellent job again with their presentation. Just need to work on that post game. But as far as the Inside the NBA goes, 5 out of 5. I mean, they never missed a beat. No, I mean, they're the GOATs as well. And look forward to seeing. The only thing I'm a little bit disappointed in, and I've heard this, is that Inside the NBA is not going to have as many episodes as they had back when they were on TNT, from what I'm understanding. So we won't see a lot of them. And I think that's Charles Barkley's request, because Charles has famously said while he was on TNT that he refused to go to ESPN and be overworked and underpaid. So I think ESPN was like, hey, we're not going to overwork you now that you're with us. We're going to give you the schedule that you guys want. So I think that's what's going to happen in the near future. They even took a shot at Barkley too. They combined all of Barkley's rants about ESPN when he was on TNT and was able to put it back in his face. So I thought that was pretty good. That was hilarious. Shout out to the Inside the NBA crew for just giving us a great show and showing us that they still got it. I mean, they're great entertainment. They know how to get things done the right way. They put respect on certain teams that deserve the respect, and they also trash teams that don't deserve the respect as well. And so big shout out to them. 5 cups out of 5 for me. And then last but not least, I want to get into some NFL picks. If you've been following my channel, every week I do my NFL picks. We're doing week 8. Now, I'm not going to be as long-winded as my previous episodes, so I wanted to keep it short and simple. So here we go. I got my picks here. Let me move myself out the way here, and so you can see that last. Let me see. Let me shorten myself there. There we go. All right. So here's what we got here. We got on Thursday, we got the Vikings going up against the Chargers. That's going to be on Amazon Prime. And as I pull up my picks here, the Chargers are a 3.5 point favorite. Me being a rival of the Vikings as a Bears fan, I have the Chargers winning this one. I want the Vikings to keep losing, and the Chargers are a 3.5 point favorite. And then on Sunday, we got the Bills going up against the Panthers. I got the Bills in that one. Bryce Young is going to be out for week 8, which means the Red Rocket will be starting for them. And so I think that should be an easy win for the Bills, even though the Panthers play teams pretty well at home. I got the Bengals over the Jets. The Jets are a sad story. If you guys haven't seen that video that went viral, that kid in his Jets uniform talking about I hate this team. I was fathered into this team, man. And they was like, are you going to keep cheering for him? He's like, man, I hate this team. If you haven't seen it, go look for it. It is gold. It is gold, man. It is gold. But I got the Bengals winning that one. Joe Flacco, the old head, is back representing us old heads at quarterback. Shout out to Flacco, putting it down for the Ravens. And then we got my Bears. Can we get 5 in a row, Tip? Can we get 5 in a row, fam? Let's see what happens. I'm being real here. If Lamar Jackson plays, okay, I know I got the Ravens checked as getting the win, right? If Lamar Jackson plays, I think the Bears lose a close game to the Ravens, only because they're going to be hyped off Lamar being back, right? If Lamar doesn't play, I got the Bears blowing out the Ravens. I got them blowing them out easy. Shout out to my boy Caleb. And all this Caleb hate needs to stop. All right? All this Caleb hate needs to stop. Caleb Williams is learning a new offense. Give him time. He has to work out the kinks. All right? But if the Bears win 5 in a row, I'm going to finally break down. And I'm going to buy a Bears jersey. I don't know who's it going to be. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I haven't had a Bears jersey since, I think, Urlacher or something like that. Matt Forte, one of those. I had one of those, and I just kind of outgrew them. So, yeah, go Bears. Bear down. I'm hoping they pull off the win. Patriots play the Browns at home. I got the Patriots winning that one. The Browns are trash. The 49ers, I got them beating the Texans on the road. Hey, remember last year when C.J. Stroud tried to do a big bro on Caleb Williams? Like, hey, man, hang in there, man. We all have bad games as rookies. And well, C.J. Stroud haven't been playing well since. So I think that role needs to be reversed. Fam, I need a new jersey, but it ain't gonna be Manny Petty's. Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh, man. That's hilarious. Fam. Took me out. Oh, by the way, fam, shout out to just going away from sports real quick. I will be DJing my first gig soon, guys, live. So any pointers you got for me, fam, feel free to let me know, man. Feel free. I'm doing an anniversary party in February. So I'll be DJing my first in-person gig. Actually my second. Actually, this is my second one, but the first time I did it, I actually was DJing with another DJ. We kind of was taking turns swapping out. But this one is going to be strictly coffee and beats, all vibes, everything. So, yeah, can't wait to get into that. But up next, I think, I got the Texans. I got the 49ers beating the Texans. And then I got the Dolphins going up against the Falcons. Got the Falcons winning that one. The Dolphins are trash. And also the Eagles. I got them beating the Giants, even though the Giants are better than what they have shown. The Giants had a heartbreaking loss last week, giving up 33 points in the fourth quarter. Man, you deserve to lose if you give up that many points in one quarter. The Buccaneers will beat the Saints next week. I got the Buccaneers winning that game. I got the Colts, the surprise Colts, beating the Titans. I got the Broncos beating the Cowboys. The Cowboys have been scoring some points. They've been great, but their defense just not good enough for me. I think the Broncos are a little bit better. And then this is the matchup a lot of people have been waiting for. The Packers going up against the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers going up against the Packers for the first time in his career. And that's going to be a Sunday night game. I got the Steelers winning that one. I don't believe in the Packers. I don't believe in Jordan Love. And so I think the Steelers win that one. And the Chiefs play Monday night against the Commanders. I think they will be without Jaden Daniels. So I got the Chiefs winning that one easily. Yeah, I can't stand the Packers. It's terrible because it's like I don't want to root for the Steelers or the Packers in this game. I just hate the Packers so much, and I just don't like Aaron Rodgers either. Even though he an old head, I don't know. I don't know. I wish they had finished in a tie. That's what I hope will happen. I hope they finish in a tie, because if they finish in a tie, then I think that'll be great for me. All right. And then that'll be two ties for the Denver Broncos. I mean, not the Denver Broncos, for the Packers as well on their record. So I would love to see that instead. But hey, that's neither here or there. Those are my picks, and I'm sticking to them. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent. When it comes to coffee, when it comes to sports, stay grounded for life. All those on Twitch, thank you for tuning in to my live show for Coffee Break Sports. I'm going to be doing more of these. So if you enjoyed it, give me a 1 in the chat. If this sucks and you say, Rodney, get back behind the turntables, let me know that too as well. Or if you want me to do both, I can do both as well. Had a little technical difficulties last Saturday. I tried to hop on, but I think the rain messed a lot of things up. But I will be getting back on the ones and twos here on Twitch because I got to get warmed up for my first live event, man. I gotta work out the kinks there. I gotta shake off the rust. Thank you, Tip. Thank you, fam. Thank you, Excalibur, for jumping on this live. And again, follow me on YouTube under Coffee Break Sports. Follow me on YouTube as well under Coffee and Beats. I got those channels separate, so check me out there as well. Until then, I will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Picked up a basketball and shot it.
I was at the Ryder Cup,
Yeah,
and I rented a house from the owner.
sure.
Came over to do pictures. He had grandkids, and I was meet and greet and thank him for allowing me to stay in the house. And he had a basketball court. He says, "I want you to shoot one free throw." I said, "Really?" I already paid for the house. It's not like he got to see me. So when I stepped up to shoot the free throw, it's the most nervous I've been in years.
Stop it.
In years.
Stop it. Come on.
It's been a while.
Jacob.
How come they can go over this line when the
You got it?
They can. But you know where that line come from? The line used to be in. We moved it out.
Right.
How? What? Look at you.
Yeah,
You know.
Lucas, move back,
See
buddy.
the center circle?
Move back.
old guy.
Will Chamberlain used to drive, take off, and free throw. Watch the shot, and the circle gets lined at the rim. That's what Will Chamberlain rule. Lord have mercy. Please thank you. Now that was pressure, man. I ain't pressure like that in a while. I was